Jodee Neil joins us now. She's a child abuse expert and also a survivor on the Epstein files, as more and more are being released now. And apparently the DOJ comes out and says, oh, oops, we did release, some things on the victims we probably shouldn't have, photos with no names and whatnot. And they go, well, it's only 0.001% of 3 million plus pages. Only? What are you talking about? Jodee Neil, welcome and thanks for being here.
Good morning. Thanks so much for having me.
So you're a survivor. I know you speak and you talk about cases involving children, and you're out there telling your story. What did you go through?
Yes. I really went through a few decades of silence. Was really the worst part was being frozen and unable to tell the truth about what happened to me. So I'm very proud to have written my book, which is my outcry myself, and to help so many survivors, including perhaps these little girls and unredacted images on the Epstein files, come forward and say their truth.
Well, when you see what's going on with the Epstein case, I mean, you've got some insight as to what this is all about as far as victims are concerned here. I believe we're only seeing the tip of the iceberg in this dark, disastrous world that Epstein and these people were, doing on this island. Your thoughts on the recent release here and how they make mistakes and basically release some of the victims' pictures?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And one thing you may not know is I did e-discovery in the opioid litigation. And so I know a lot about technology-assisted review, TAR, as well as ESI protocols, which is, I checked last night. There were protocols in place to keep things like this from happening. But what it looks like to me is that they didn't put individual eyes on each image. They relied too much on the technology, and old technology at that. That's my professional assessment.
Well, what do you mean by didn't put eyes on it, relied on old technology? What happened?
Yeah. So basically, we're looking at 3 million documents here, and there were 180,000 images. So the images need to be put to the side, and they need to, you need to apply the technology-assisted review. But then you really need to have a human set of eyes on every image.
Okay.
A very qualified human set of eyes.
Yeah, before you release something this sensitive, you would think that a human being in the DOJ or a team of people, real people, would look through each of these pages and go, oh, we've got to take that out. We can't show that. We got to get rid of that. We can't, no. But apparently they just kind of blindly, roll the machinery and the technology dice, if you will, and let it fly. So with that said, where do you think we ought to be on this whole let's be transparent and release it? Because the president said that's what he wants to do. And all of a sudden it's like, okay, we take a look at this. And it's like, okay, all right, slow down. Whoa. Yeah.
I would want the government. I mean, I know it's expensive, but I would want them to invest in a really good database. Some software like CS Disco. That's what I use. They're not paying me to say this, but it's a fantastic tool. The private litigation has the best tools that you can imagine with AI, and there's no reason to have slip-ups like this with the technology that we have. So I would tell the government, spend a little bit of money and do this right.
Do you believe there's photos and videos of these criminals and the people that were taking advantage of these girls somewhere? Somebody got them?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if they can release 40 unredacted nude images of little girls, certainly there are lots of photos of the bad guys, I'm sure.
Do you think we'll ever see that? Will there be heads to roll? Will people go to prison? Will there be accountability ever in all of this?
I don't know about prison, but what we need is a consciousness shift in America. We need to put our biases and our favoritism aside and say, look, okay, it happened. What are we going to do now? How are we going to treat the next generation of children even better?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, they've got to get to the bottom of this, and there has to be some accountability in my world. But you're right. As many powerful people that attended this island and may be involved in this, we're talking from all walks of life, whether it's politics or CEOs of companies or it's Hollywood. The disgust is far-reaching and very deep in its dark world for sure. And it's horrendous that these girls aren't seeing the justice in it. Jodee Neil, thank you so much for sharing with me this morning. I sure do appreciate your insight.